webinar this evening. Today we are eagerly waiting to hear about Indian aquaculture status, challenges, strategies and biodiversity. Today's resource person is Dr. Angshuman Chando, Assistant Professor of Zoology, Raja N.L. Khan Women's College, Midnapur. This is our 22nd webinar. Before going to the today's webinar, I want to tell something about our webinar series. This is our first webinar series of biodiversity and conservation. From the month of September 2020, we, the Managing Committee of Biodiversity Series, are engaged to organize the webinars on biodiversity on each and every Saturday from 7 p.m. onwards. We are thankful to all of you for your kind response, cooperation, and participation. So many participants are participating in all the sessions and gaining knowledge from the webinars. We think you will be with us for the rest of our journey. Participants who are new to our team should know about us and the motto of these webinars. I am Dr. Pompi Ghosh, by profession Assistant Professor of Botany. Name of my college is Seva Bharati Mahavidyalaya, Kapgadi. It is one of the oldest college of the district Jhargram of West Bengal. There are participants from school level to research level. Our research persons are doing a very good job by disseminating the informations and knowledge to the participants. We all are doing this work voluntarily. Next, Dr. Debabrata Das, Admin Flora and Fauna Asia Facebook group, is really a very energetic and enthusiastic person of our team. By profession, Dr. Das is Associate Professor of Botany. Name of his institute is Government General Degree College, shortly GGDC Lalgod. This is a newly established government college under Government of West Bengal. Dr. Das is a very good researcher and spent so many years in Botanical Survey of India as junior and senior research fellow before joining this job. Our another partner, Sri Amalesh Jana, Secretary, Drishtikon Organization, is a retired person but likes to manage diverse elements of biodiversity for the purpose of earning and making job opportunities for community development. Lastly, our smallest member is Attoja Virupa Das. She is quite enthusiastic to share her knowledge about environment and biodiversity with others. Thank you, Dr. Das, for giving me this opportunity. Now, I welcome Dr. Das to run the session. Dr. Das?
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you, madam.
Thank you, madam.
Today's
speaker is Dr. Angshuman Chando.
Sir
is a scholar that is previously from Zoological Survey of India, and area of his research is taxonomy and crustacean fauna. Sir published 13 books, 5 book chapters, 61 research papers, and attended 35 and more seminars. Teaching experience in the Department of Zoology, UG and PG. Presently working on pinoid fishery more than 15 years. Sir completed 2 projects. One is UGC minor project on freshwater prawn. Another UGC major project, small indigenous fish prawn crab and mollusks of Paschim Medinipur, their protein value, food security and conservation of biodiversity for village people. Sir established one center in addition to the scientists and other indigenous people in and around our state, indigenous fishery and fish conservation center. Presently, he is handling 2 projects, one funded by West Bengal Biodiversity Board and another by DBT. He described 3 new species of pinoid prawn and 1 new mud skipper species. So, Dr. Chando is now working as Assistant Professor, PG Department of Zoology, Raja N.L. Khan Women's College, NAC accredited A grade college. Sir, please share your PPTs and present your valuable talk.
Thank you, Dr. Das. I am very pleased as you are inviting me as a speaker in this fine evening. I will try my best to highlight about the Indian aquaculture and I am sharing my slide just now.
শান্তিবালা ওকে শেয়ার করছি নাকি
Shantibala, madam, you are presenting. Please stop.
ওকে স্লাইড
Okay, slide mode.
ইয়েস
Yes,
Is it visible?
ইয়েস ইয়েস
yes, yes.
I am audible also.
Yes.
Thank you. Good evening to everybody. Exactly, Indian aquaculture status, challenges, strategies and biodiversity. Our main motto is to highlight the biological diversity related to fish fauna of India. And aquaculture is a scientific process by which we can rear economically important, valuable group of organisms, their sustainable utilization and conservation. So, aquaculture and biological diversity, these two aspects are very much correlated to each other. Indian aquaculture system, it has its own strategy about the productivity, about the fulfillment of the demand of vast population of India,
ভিডিওটা শর্ট দিয়ে রাখবি
and in that perspective, Indian aquaculture has taken its strategies. The National Fisheries Policy 2020 would offer a strategized way offered to develop a harness, manage and regulate capture and culture fisheries in a responsible and sustainable manner. Productive integration with other economic sectors such as agriculture, coastal area development and ecotourism to meet the goals of the blue economy and blue budget of India. While central, state and interstate cooperation, socio-economic upliftment and economic prosperity of fisheries and fish farmers, especially traditional and small-scale fisheries, are at the core of the policy of Indian fisheries. The policy mirrors national aspirations and the developmental goals set before the nation. Indian fisheries and aquaculture, a few facts, the total fish production in India 13.42 million metric tons in 2018-19, among which inland is 9.71 million metric tons and marine one is 3.71 million metric tons. India is the second largest aquaculture producer and world share is about 6.53%. India is third largest global fish producer. World share is around 6%. India exports 46,589 crores and quantities 11,34,948 tons in 2018 and 19. Their fish production and growth rate in last 10 years in India are trying to present. It's starting from 2009, 10, to up to 2018-19. It is average. It has been shown that both quantity and growth rate and quantity shows that the total 6.18% of growth rate in Indian fisheries are achieved. Trend of fish production in India since independence, if we see that there is a strategic variation in the fisheries like capture and culture fisheries. Here you are finding that marine fisheries in the blue line, and the inland is in the red line, and total productivity in green graph we are showing here. About it is seen that the capture fishery is gradually declining, marine fishery is gradually declining, but inland fishery, that means the aquaculture is gradually enhancing in Indian aquaculture system, is very rapidly growing. Aquaculture shares in India's fish production has grown from a third to half in 20 years. It is shown that a share of aquaculture percentage in 1986 it was 23%, and the share of capture fisheries was 77%. Huge amount of fish were captured from our vast water bodies like marine and inland rivers and lakes. So culture fishery was very much share in the productivity, and in 1996 it is gradually the capture fishery reducing and the culture fishery is gradually increasing. It is 2006 it is about 45 and 55. In 2016 it is 53 and 47. Here the capture fishery is below 50%, and the culture fishery is increasing 53%. It is beyond 50%, and it is projected that in 2030 it will be reduced, the capture fishery, and culture fishery will be enhanced, so that the biological diversity in the natural biological diversity will remain intact, or it will restore itself. If we enhance the culture fishery, then capture fishery. Capture fishery is one type of exploitation, huge exploitation of fish population from our natural water bodies or natural resources. So, if we reduce our capture fishery and increase our culture fishery to combat our demand of protein demand, then we can simultaneously we can protect our biological diversity, we can protect our fish faunal diversity in our natural water resources. Here, fishery resources in this country, I want to show that the inland resources, that means the length of rivers and canals, reservoirs, ponds and tanks, floodplains, derelicts, water bodies, inland saline and alkaline land, and brackish water system, the amount of the water bodies and canals. Cold water resources are also cold water rivers, natural lakes and reservoirs in India. There is a vast amount of water resources in India. Marine resource, length of coastline 8,118 kilometers, including the islets, Andaman Nicobar, as well as Lakshadweep and Minicoy Islands. Exclusive economic zone of Indian subcontinent, 2.02 million square kilometers, and the continental shelf, which is the playground, which is the nursery, which is the habitat of marine fishes. It is about 0.53 million square kilometers. Now, fisheries potential and productions in India. Current potential is about 20 million tons. Marine is 4.41 million tons, and inland is 15 million tons estimated. And it is previously, there is a previous record about production in 2015-16, chapter fishery, culture fishery, marine fisheries, and inland fisheries are all together. That was in 2015 and 16, it was about 10.79 metric tons. And now I want to show the state-wise production with year in our Indian states. It has been shown that the Andhra Pradesh is the highest producer in India, and then West Bengal. And I want to mention that state-wise distribution of fish production is very differently in different states, because the availability of water resources as well as the fish preference of the population. In some states they are highly vegetarian, so populations are there, and their productivity is excess of their demand, and then they are able to export their production to another state or even to the foreign countries. But in West Bengal, in case of West Bengal, majority of the population are preferring fish and rice every day. Each population, each people try to eat at least one time, one piece of fishes in their daily diet. So the huge demand of fisheries in India, and the productivity, though West Bengal is producing huge amounts of fish, but their daily requirement is very high, and that's why we have to import fish from different states like Andhra Pradesh or Uttar Pradesh, where it is excess. And it is also showing, present slide is showing the exports, Indian exports, a tenth of its fish productions, exports as percentage of productions in 2016, 10%, 2013 will be enhanced 13%, and the growth in exports will be 16 to 2030, it will be 61%, if the trend remains same in the production of fish. Now I want to enter into the challenges in aquaculture of fishery in India. India must address some challenges to further develop its fish farming sector, including the following technical challenges. Very few species are there in India which are cultured, like carp, pacu, and pangasius. These days, there are 2,500 nearabouts species in India, food species, but only 10 to 15 or 20 species are under culture system. There is no, all fishes are under aquaculture. There is no technique to develop how we can produce them, how we can perform the induced breeding of each and every species. Whether the carp induced breeding technique is equally applicable to the other group of fishes, or even in the small indigenous fishes, we are trying to induce development of induced breeding technique for very commercially important small indigenous species. In our laboratory, we are trying gradually by trial and error method to develop different technique, certain technique, a specific technique for the induced breeding in different species. But only the small number of species are under aquaculture. Actually, in aquaculture, we select fish species with a very rapid growth rate, and whose place is very palatable to different group of population in India. There are different religious, different um, mm, population of India is variable and diversified, so their preference, food preference, some prefer marine products, some prefer aquaculture, freshwater aquaculture products, some prefer about crustacean fauna, molluscan fauna. So the diversification of food habits in India, but the productivity of fish population is only restricted within 20 species, within more or less 20 species are cultured. But if we introduce new species in the aquaculture system of fish, then we will be able to produce more fish products, as well as we can stabilize our extinct category group of fishes to sustain in its world and natural environmental conditions. We have the lack of hatchery technique, that is production of seed production, high technology based hatchery is very poor in number in Indian perspective. Freshwater fish farming is still based on traditional methods in India. Large ponds, no water exchange, no draining, and no bottom sediment removal that often lead to conditions that promote diseases. Here, a farming system, it may be planned in a certain plan so that we can get return huge amount after investment of very minimum investment and maximum return is our target, is the national target of the productivity of fish. The availability of water and then unpredictable monsoon in India. You know that India is Indian monsoon, summer, winter, and rainy season. Rainy season comes in a certain period of time in the year, but if it's delayed, then each and every crop, not only the animal husbandry, not only the fishery, not only the agriculture, each and every crop is harmfully affected due to uncertainty of monsoon in India's climate. That is, climate change is another factor of reducing the biological diversity from Indian ecosystems. Enhancement in production for meeting demand, you have to enhance diversification, that is satisfying every man's case. Diversification means the introduction of different type of species. Suppose Chanidi. Chanidi is such type of fish group. It has a certain flavor in its place. Suppose the Clarias batraca, the catfish. Catfish has some certain flavor which is palatable, which is very acceptable to some group of population. Then the diversification in our
আছে তো নেই বলে নিতে না পাও না
very important economic crop.
বলে ও বই দেখছে
Fishery is a very important economic crop, and if the culturist, if the farmer doesn't get sufficient return from it, then it will reduce, or the interest will be fall due to less price, return price from aquaculture. Increase employment. Aquaculture system increase employment for inclusive development and empowerment of fish farmers. Use of modern culture system that they use less land and water will greatly benefit the sector and should be given more importance and prioritizations. if we utilize same water for different cropping, then that is the circulatory system farming. This circulatory system is introduced on the biocrop is the highly advanced type of fishing procedure. If we introduce new procedures, then it will enhance. Challenges in marketing also. There is some challenge in fish market. In the inferior quality of fish produced in inadequately managed production system affects customers' acceptance and preference. Customer preference is largely depend upon the quality of the fish. The lack of adequate cold chain and distribution system for fish as a perishable product affects availability and marketing. The low farm gate price is another challenge. Low farm gate price, that means the middleman purchase the fish from the farmer and they supply it to the retailer, and if the farmer gets less price, then they are harmfully affected economically affected, and they will they cannot sustain in their system. For low value fish species does not support their economic performances. India should aim at adopting fish species and marketing system that generate farm gate price of Indian rupees 120 to 140 per kg at the lower scale to 2050 to 300, 250 to 300 per kg farm gate price for high value premium fishes. Indian scenario in such a way. This should include freshwater, brackish water, as well as marine fish species. Now, enhancement in production for meeting demand strategies. It has been shown that growth rate is 60, growth rate is 6% growth rate 2022 to 23 it was projected in Indian fisheries, and fish consumption trend in India, during 2015 to 16 was 8 kg, around 8 kg per capita. Indian population takes fish 8 kg per capita per year. ICMR recommendation is 12 kg per capita. How recommendation is 20 kg per capita. Production enhancement required 33% in case of ICMR as suggested, and 66% how as suggested how. So there is a huge gap of fish production and a huge amount of employment will be generated within the fishery sector. Government state government and central government have to take major steps in this sector so that the fisheries and the fish farmers are gainfully affected by their strategy. It has been shown that the Indian fish capture consumption rate India is about 7 to 8 kg per capita. Gradually it is increasing starting from the 1961 after independence. 1961 it is about 2 kg per capita, and it is gradually increasing. 2010, 2017 it was near about 7 to 8 kg per head. Scope of aquaculture, how to increase fish production. Horizontal expansion is a one process by which we can expand our aquaculture for the fishery system, and vertical expansion. These two type of expansion is very much important for the enhancement of the aquaculture product. Another one is the quality fish feed, quality fish feed, and a efficient marketing system. All these are the main criteria. All these are the main criteria for the growth and development of Indian aquaculture system. As we are coming one by one. Horizontal expansion of aquaculture areas and utilization of wasteland, poor quality water resources, utilization of unexplored potential aquatic resources like seasonal ponds to be brought under aquaculture, like in West Bengal it is, or in India there are different Muram Khada, laterite soil areas. We found that there is a deep depression in the land mass, that is water is lost in the rainy season only for 3 to 4 months, but this place is not utilized. This water body, seasonal pond, these are seasonal ponds, these are not utilized in fishery purpose. If we try to utilize this water body seasonally for 3 to 4 months, then we can be able to produce huge amount of fish. Expansion of cage and pail culture. Cage and pail culture is a huge water body, in large open water bodies like lakes, and including mariculture also. Saline soil and poor quality water to be brought under aquaculture. These allowing water bodies should be utilized for the production of fish or prawns, either finfish or shellfish. We can produce, we can utilize this type of water body, and we can expand our horizontal expansion. Then we turn to vertical expansion of aquaculture, increasing productivity of resources to sustainable level, bringing technology gap at farmer and scientist age. If the technology or the ideas of scientific ideas of fish culture can be transferred to the farmers, then they will act as per guide of the scientist or the fishery extension officer. APO, in each and every block there is a fishery officer who guides the fishermen, who guides the aquaculturists how to increase their productivity, how treatment different diseases, how marketize their productivity, they are guiding. Now, vertical expansion, the utilization of different trophic levels, surface, column and bottom, it is already established that in a pond we introduce 3 species, Indian major carp, 3 species, Katla, Ruhu and Mrigal. Katla, Ruhu and Mrigal, Katla, Major Rohita and Serena Mrigala. 3 major carp, Indian major carp are cultured all together in the same pond, but their habitat is different. Katla is surface feeder, Ruhu is column feeder, and Mrigala is bottom feeder. So each and every sphere of the aquatic body is utilized. It is scientific, ecological perspectives of the aquaculture which is employed in the aquatic body. This knowledge is transferred to the farmers who they are not understand that 3 bottom, column and surface are the 3 parts of the aquatic body of the pond which can be utilized sustainably. Sustainably utilized, we can utilize that particular classification. Every column of the water body is utilized, and a mixed culture system we can introduce. It is already introduced in India. The 3 exotic major carp, silver carp, grass carp, and cyprinus carp. these three species are less compatible with our indigenous species, and they are very easily cultured and reared in the same pond and enhancing the productivity. Enhancement of stocking density, more fish accommodation within the pond. There is a certain carrying capacity of each and every aquatic body, and that carrying capacity can be extended. That can be extended by application of scientific procedures like excess oxygen dissolving within the water body, supplying of fish, quality fish to the pond or aquatic body, and disease treatment, monitoring, surveillance is very much important. Each and every pond should be monitored by the expert whether there is any disease outbreaking
দুটো আইকন আছে
fish within the population stocking within the pond. Integrated fish farming is another vertical expansion. Integrated fish farming, suppose the poultry and fish integration, or the animal husbandry and fisheries. Animal husbandry and fisheries are integrated to produce a huge amount of productivity, protein resources. We can expand vertically in such a way. This is a simple method of aquaculture as suggested by the how each and every step is mentioned here. It is very much helpful, beneficial for the product enhancement of the productivity. Their integration as well as the composite farming system are accumulated within the same system, and the productivity is enhanced. Quality production is produced by the recommendation. Transformation of aquaculture from extensive to semi-intensive and semi-intensive to intensive farming system. So, if we convert such way, then we can produce huge amount of productivity, huge amount of fish, plus huge amount of fish product. Limitation of space and low availability of water. Provides better unit production and higher return. So this is a limitation of space. Use limited spaces, we can produce a huge amount. There are so many techniques, scientific procedures, mechanical aeration is very much important. When the carrying capacity, we want to enhance our carrying capacity of pond, then you have to introduce dissolved oxygen, enhance dissolved oxygen by mechanical aerators, application of aerators. Flow through system for intensive farming is very much important. Bioblock system and a recirculatory aquaculture system for water conservation, water saving procedure by which we can produce a huge amount of fish product by minimum amount of water resource utilization. Limited species available, more to be brought under the system. Different species have to introduce within the high-tech procedure of aquaculture like bioblock or recirculatory aquaculture system. We can introduce more and more species so that we can produce a huge amount of production. Quality fish feed is another enhancement of the productivity. If we enhance the aquaculture product, then we can save our biological diversity. Culture system is the safeguard of biological diversity. If we do not enhance our productivity through aquaculture, then we have to collect old traditional process. We have to collect fish from natural water bodies. Therefore, the exploitation, huge amount of exploitation of the population will be done by the capture fishery. So we have to enhance our culture fishery. Assured availability of desired size seed for higher survival and a shorter culture period is essential. Selective breeding for better growth, low FCR fish conversion ratio, disease resistant variety, climate tolerance varieties are very much important for quality fish feeding and productivity enhancement. Develop improved rubu buoyancy with 17% higher growth realizations per generation after 8 generations through selective breeding. It will grow very rapidly. Third generation of Katla is ready with higher growth potential. Fifth generation of giant freshwater prawn with higher growth potential ready for supply. Seed certification is very much important, and the addition of more species to aquaculture system will ensure the productivity of the aquaculture system. This is one of the active and good quality fish fry, quality fish feeds, side by side, quality seed and quality feed. Both are very important to enhance the productivity of our aquaculture system. Appropriate feed substitute supplements for fish meal and live feed for hatchery production, fry, juvenile, grow out stages are reared by the utilization of different categories of food for the feed, quality feed, having a balanced diet for the fish. Species-specific diet for all stages of particular fish species that allow complete domestication and maximal productivity and larval quality will enhance. Better understanding of larval nutritional requirements in order to develop suitable compound diet which will further reduce the need for live food, anemia. Cost effective, it must be cost effective, otherwise your goal will be unfulfilled. Locally available and or non-conventional ingredients will be included within the production of the fish feed, quality fish feed again, and because the quality of fish feed is able to enhance the productivity of the system. Efficient mechanisms of disease surveillance and treatment, it is very important. And in fishing sector, there are so many evidence of destruction of fishing industries due to the infestation of different disease causing virus, bacteria, protozoa, and the algal disease are there in the Indian aquatic system. So it is very much important to make a surveillance and treatment of disease for the growth and enhancement of the aquatic system. Disease of different type of main disease challenges in fish and the shrimps are the disease epizootic ulcerative syndrome (PUS) caused by Aphanomyces invadens, it's a fungus. Arbulosis, another disease caused by the Arbula species, a crustacean group of animal parasites. These parasites. Bacterial disease caused by Aeromonas, different type of Vibrio species causes different type of diseases in fishes as well as in shrimps. WSSV, ESV, all are different type of fish diseases in prawn and in case of finfish and shellfish, both are harmfully affected. Prevention strategies have to be developed for the betterment and the productivity. You have to treat diseases. Seed have to be SPF and the SPR and the genetically selected seed should be. So, diagnostic PCR should be applied for the detection of the disease, whether it is bacterial, viral, or any other type of organism causes. These are the high level of studies for the detection of different diseases in the aquatic system. Our physical trace is very, very important. Physical trace for fishes. If it causes any trace to the animal, their growth and development will be hampered. Their metabolic rate will be reduced. Their biomolecular clotting system will be changed, and their growth development ultimately is hampered due to stressful conditions. Research focus on development of molecular probes for early detection and a rapid response of viral diseases such as white spot syndrome virus WSV, Tura syndrome virus, yellow head virus. All these are detected or early detection. If we can detect earlier, then we can take measures for the treatment of that particular virus. Cost-effective method of controlling certain infectious disease, development of probiotic, vaccine, mineral, oil, etc. These are the different type of treatment we can employ for the disease controlling. Biosafety and detection of withdrawal period of antibiotics and other medicines is very important. It is applied in the aquaculture system. Today it is very rapidly applied with different type of antibiotics for the growth development of the enhancement of the muscle size of the fish, and it have to minimize. Metagenomics of soil and water interface is very much important for detection of different disease and treatment. Efficient marketing system, minimum harvest and post-harvest loss can enhance the productivity of aquatic system or the aquaculture system. Domestic fish marketing is highly unorganized. It is very, very challenging to the productivity of the aquatic industry or the fishery industry. Neither efficient nor modern. There are gold patterns of markets. There are so many markets as well, both in urban and rural areas. This market is very dirty, very obnoxious gases are there, and you cannot enter within fish market without your handkerchief on the nose. So such type of unhygienic condition is very, very important constraint in the Indian fish marketing. Markets are old, unhygienic, and without proper infrastructure for storage, transportation, assembling and selling, distribution, market, link, communication, packaging. All these are the very poor in Indian markets. Poor fish handling results in poor quality of fish with low keeping quality. Quality will be reduced, and that's why the return will be reduced. And we have to take different action to combat such situations. Fish available to consumers at the right time and at the right place provides higher price. So the fixed समय at a particular time and period we can supply in a particular manner, in a particular hygienic condition, then we can get more return. Infrastructure for cold chain is very much important for fishes. After 3 to 4 hours, fish become rotten and it is not acceptable. Fish cannot be palatable. The taste of the fish will be reduced. So the market acceptance will be reduced. So cold chain is very much important. Cold chain system is very much important for the storage of the fish and the marketing or the transporting from one market to another or from the farmer to the market or exporting from one country to another country or from one state to another state. Cold chain or storage and transportation is very much important. There are so many risk factors are there for fish productions, that is death, disease, market risk and death. Low productivity enhancement is very much important. These are all risks of fisheries you have to take for aquaculture. Diversification in aquaculture, there are, I have already explained these ones, the polyculture system. Polyculture system, culture of more than 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 species. Indian major carp along with the exotic carp. Or nowadays we are trying to develop a concept of fish culture, that is fish community culture. Fish community culture. Community, not community fish culture. Fish community culture. Not that 2, 3 or 4 species of fishes are cultured within the aquatic system. We are trying to introduce the small fishes also like Morala. We are trying to introduce some mollusks as well as some crustacean groups of commercially valuable species within the fish pond and then try to culture a aquatic community. It is needed a long experiment whether the return is much more than the only fish culture, only the composite culture of fishes or the polyculture of fishes. We have to experimentally prove that polyculture, that the community fish community culture is more profitable than the polyculture. It requires time. We will be able to prove that the fish community culture will be more beneficial than the polyculture of fish. Polyculture of fish. Simultaneously, fish community culture will enhance the culture of different species, which is again can help in the sustainability of biological diversity, improve the biological diversity, save the biological diversity. Okay, so if we culture different group of aquatic communities in the same pond, we can get return more money. It has to prove. Still it is not proved. We are trying to develop the concept of fish community culture. Not only this, but also the crustacean, mollusk, and as well as the fin fishes. All are fisheries, aquaculture, fisheries, and pisciculture. For the students, aquaculture, fisheries, and pisciculture, three distinct. There is a distinct difference between three culture systems: culture, capture, and sustainable utilization of fishes is known as pisciculture. Fisheries, sustainable utilization, capture, and sustainable utilization of commercially important animals. Commercially important animals are the fisheries. And aquaculture is the culture, capture, and rearing and sustainable utilization of commercially important aquatic organisms. Aquatic organisms, aquatic animals, and culture of fishes. So pisciculture, fisheries, and aquaculture are three distinct terms, but it is applied within the same pond. So, culture of the community of aquatic organisms within the same pond, it will certainly enhance the sustainability of the aquaculture. Diversity is directly related to the sustainability of the ecosystem. That system with more biological diversity is more stable. More diversity, more stable. Less diversity, less stable. So, if we enhance the diversity within the pond ecosystem, then the sustainability of the pond ecosystem will be enhanced. And simultaneously, the aquaculture sector will be sustained for long period of time. I think. Need for diversification, we have already discussed. Indian aquaculture is mainly carp-centric. 80% are carp, bangers, tilapia, specific white-legged seals and tiger shrimps constitute substantially to rest of the production. Seed production technology for around 4 to 5 dozen species of freshwater, brackish-water and marine fishes existing in the country, but adoption is very meager. Diversified species can meet region-specific, location-specific food demand, besides allow higher economic income. Many such species are successfully cultured under intensive farming practices with production much higher than from carp farming. Support conservation of genetic resources through ranching by the culture of different certain group of organisms. Certain fish, certain crustaceans, certain mollusks can be cultured and they sustain their population within our natural habitat, natural aquatic systems. Indigenous freshwater fin fishes and shellfishes successfully breed in captive breeding, captive conditions. Katla, within Katla, Labio ruhita, Sirina Picala, Labio calvasu, Labio pangapia, Labio diachilias, Labio bata, Labio gonias, such type of, and catfishes of Calilia batratus, Atrocneus fossilis, Umpok Pebo, Umpok Pabda, Malabarenicus, Walagu Atu, all these are the Rita, all these are the catfishes, snake-headed Tana striatus, Tana manulis, exactly Tana punctatus, Tana marulis, and Tana striatus are culture within India. Vidarbek, Kitala, Notopteras are culture. Nendas, Adabs, Nendas, Venabas, Testudenia, all these are under culture system also. Shellfishes are Macrobrachium rosenbarki, Macrobrachium malcolmsoni, Macrobrachium choprai, these species, brackish-water lettuce calcaripar, Meducephalus, Canos, all these are the brackish-water marine fishes are Cobia, silver, Pompano, and such type of marine fishes are under culture. Exotic fin fishes, Pangasius, Pangasidon, Hypophthalma, Nil tilapia, Oreoptomis nilotica, rainbow trout, all are the exotic culture within the India. These are the some of the fish species found in India. Now we are entering within the entirely different sector of fisheries, aquaculture, sustainability, and the diversity of the aquatic organisms as well as the fishes of ornamental fish. Ornamental fishes, opportunity for small to large farming. There is another sector. It is a very profitable. Global trade of around $16 million per year from this industry of India. Indian contribution less than 1%, more than 700 cities, and even number of variants are available in the market. Trade is limited only to metros, metro cities, but rural place is very neglected for this industry. Greater opportunities for small towns and rural areas. We can develop, we can culture, we can rear the fish species within the aquarium. Even in our indigenous ornamental fish species are also cultured within our laboratory. We are trying to develop culture captive breeding of indigenous ornamental fishes in our laboratory. Indigenous ornamental fish farming is mainly based on capture and marketing. Capture and marketing, indigenous fish, in case of indigenous ornamental fishes especially. Here only capturing and marketing is performed in Indian scenario. So it faces a great chance of overexploitation. It faces a great chance of overexploitation of indigenous ornamental fish species and need conservation through captive breeding to maintain a steady supply chain to the market so that it cannot reduce from the natural habitat. So conservation of biological diversity is largely enhanced by the captive breeding of indigenous ornamental fishes, which we are trying in our laboratory. We are trying to culture captive breeding of 28 fish species, indigenous fish species in our laboratory through aquarium techniques. These are our aquarium photographs which are present within our laboratory, within our college premises, within the corridor of our department. All species are separately cultured within the aquarium and trying to breed them within the aquarium condition so that we can steadily supply these species to the market. And our indigenous species is not less beautiful than the foreign or the imported species. Here, Indian species are exported to the different countries. There it is very much interesting and acceptable ornamental fish species. So we try to culture, develop breeding of our indigenous species in our laboratory. Yes, now we return to the effects of aquaculture on biological diversity. Biological diversity, our prioritization is the conservation of biological diversity through aquaculture. Aquaculture has so many bad effects in the environment. There are so many bad effects on the environment, but it has some beneficial effect of the conservation of biological diversity. I am going to discuss I can concentrate my presentation within that part, that unfortunately the aquatic fauna of India is at high risk of extinction. Up to 70% of all freshwater mussels, 49% of freshwater fishes, 30% of land, and 20% of mammals and birds are in imperiled state. Global rates are similar for those groups also. Many evaluations have demonstrated that exotic species, very dangerous, habitat loss, pollution, and exploitation explain most of the animal extinction that have occurred in our Indian civilization. Therefore, it is important to evaluate not only species at risk but also the distribution of exotic species to understand future trends in aquatic biodiversity. Negative effects in order to decreasing importance as a threat to biological diversity. Escapements of aquatic crops. Escapements from the culture system of aquatic crops and their potential hazard as invasive species. Invasive species is very much dangerous. Suppose Garipenias, African magur is very dangerous species mandate in India, but now it is also culture in different part of our country. But it has a rapid rate of growth, productivity, and they can acclimatize themselves within our environment also. And our species is highly threatened due to such type of invasive group of organisms, and our indigenous species is reducing. Hence, it is the negative impact on the biological diversity to aquaculture. The relationship among nutrients, eutrophication of water bodies, and changes in the fauna of receiving water is very important impact on the biological diversity by the aquaculture. Conservation of sensitive land areas such as mangroves and wetlands as well as water usage are harmfully affected due to aquaculture. Other resource use such as fish meal and its concomitant overexploitation of fish stocks due to aquaculture, disease or parasitic transfer from captive to wild stocks, genetic alteration from existing stocks, from escaped hatchery products, genetic diversification, predator mortality caused by more, for example, killing birds near aquaculture facilities, antibiotic and hormone use which may influence aquatic other species near aquaculture facilities. So these are the different negative effects of aquaculture on the biological diversity, maintenance of biological diversity, or it is the threat to the biological diversity in one side. In another side, there are so many positive effects are also there. Positive impact of aquaculture on biological diversity. Presenting aquaculture as an entirely negative is biased, as some effects of aquaculture on biodiversity may be positive also. For example, production of fish can reduce pressure on wild stock. If we produce our necessities within our culture system, then we will never go through the wild harvesting of the different species, whether it may be the fish or any other animals or wild plants also, which may already be overexploited. So, if we produce our need food within our culture system, then we never exploit our wild stock. Stocking organisms from aquaculture system may help to enhance depleted stock. If we introduce a depleted stock in aquaculture system, then we can enhance their population. We can sustain that particular species within its natural environment. So, influence and waste from aquaculture. Whatever we are thinking that the influence of the aquaculture is causing the environmental hazard within the surrounding system, where the aquaculture plant, where the aquaculture farm is situated, is nearby Again, we can return in return we can say that influence and cost from aquaculture can increase local production, abundance, and diversity of species. Diversity of different species are also increased. Destructive land use patterns such as plant and bird agriculture may be replaced by more sustainable patterns such as aquaculture in ponds, which also may generate income, reduce poverty, and improve human health also. So, my respected participants, I am going to conclude that aquaculture is very important sector of Indian economy, and it can simultaneously reduce the wild exploitation, and because the culture system is enhancing the productivity gradually starting from the independence 1947 onward, and presently we are growing, we are producing second largest producer of the world, supplier of the aquaculture products to the world. So we are enhancing our system, we are producing more and more aquatic products. Simultaneously, we are the researcher related to the fishery science or the aquaculture sciences. They are trying to introduce new species within the aquaculture system so that the sustainability of the latent group of animal will be conserved. It's our motto to conserve the biological diversity through aquaculture. We can utilize aquaculture not the negative sense, in the positive sense, we can enhance our biological diversity through aquaculture system also. Thank you everybody for your present hearing. I don't know whether it is helpful to you or not, but
Thank you, Dr. Chandra,
yes.
for your very good presentation. I think all the participants also enjoy the webinar. Dr. Chandra, you focused on freshwater aquaculture and their diversification. You not only told about status, challenges and strategies about indigenous species, but you mentioned so many about ornamental species also. And I am also with your idea that fish culture or aquaculture is not only to eat fish, but also conserve so many fishes which are going to vanish. And the participants are now, this is a time of question answer session. If you have any question, then please ask or write in chat box.
Good evening,
Yes,
sir.
yes, sir.
Sir, can you hear me, sir? Is I am audible, sir?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Please say.
Okay, sir. Sir, my question to you is, sir, your presentation is very good, sir. Thank you for presenting your view towards aquaculture. But, sir, my question belongs to what is your opinion about the capture fishery considering its disruption to other life forms of high seas? Sir, I have placed the question in the chat box.
Yes.
Yes, Suraj Pratap Singh, your question in chat box and sir will answer you.
Okay, ma'am.
I try to see the question. No, here telling you. But my view is that capture fishery is very drastically affecting the biological diversity, and the majority of the trends in our Indian aquaculture, first of all, we have collected the fish species from the wild natural aquatic system, and even in aquaculture system, fish feed were collected from the natural bodies in the monsoon period when the fish are laying eggs, and These fries are collected from different estuaries as well as from different wastewater system of our riverine system and lake estuarine system, and from there only the culture system fish are supplied. But due to advancement of technology, due to advancement of knowledge and technique, introduction of induced feeding in 1957, Hiralal Chaudhary, perhaps all of you know who are related to the aquaculture or fishery scientist. Everyone heard about the Professor Hiralal Chaudhary, who introduced induced feeding in our major curve, and due to advancement of such type of technology, the productivity is enhancing in our culture system, and gradually we are able to reduce. If we can meet our productivity, our demand within the culture system, then we should not try to extend our hand towards the capture fishery. But some species, this species which is very acceptable and palatable to human beings like Tinwalasa elisa, tuna, sardine, and even the arpodont also are some of the marine fishes which is very important and which is very essential for our diet also. So we have to develop some technique about the culture of such valuable capture fish species to introduce in the mariculture system or within the brackish-water system, so that we can develop the technique, the productivity of such type of organisms, such type of fish species, which is essential for the our nutrition, which is very much nutritive also, as because different type of salts are there, different type of minerals are there within the marine fishes, which is essential for our growth and development, for our disease resistance also. So we have to develop the process of culture technique scientifically.
The next
question,
another
participant, our respected participant, retired agriculture scientist, Dr. Das, S.K. Das, is asking question, what are the effects of climate change on the aquatic industry?
Yes. It is
Effects of climate change on the aquatic industry.
Yes. It is very relevant question. Very relevant is because climate change is very effective, and because in our Indian environment, so many crops are there. Not only this, fish are breeding within the rainy season. Fishes are breeding within the rainy season. If rainy season delayed, suppose the May, June, July, August, it is shifting from June to July, then the breeding season will be shifted. If the breeding season is shifted, then the hormonal system of the fishes, which is induced by the climatic condition, certain humidity, certain temperature, certain moisture, and the different chemicals within the water body are inducing different reproductive glands as well as the pituitary gland of the fishes. That will be harmful due to delayed monsoon. The entire system of the biochemical system of the fish will be altered, and the productivity, suppose that fish produces 5 lakhs of seeds, it may produce only 3 lakhs. It may produce only 3 lakhs viable fish species, viable fish seeds. So the amount as reducing, the productivity will be reduced. And in case of different agricultural crops, due to climate change, due to change of the shifting of the monsoon, which are largely depend upon the seasonal crops, like winter crops, summer crops, rainy crops, that will be shifted to some extent and it will reduce the productivity or the growth and the development will be changed due to change in the temperature, moisture and other environmental parameters. When it is changed due to shifting, when it is changed, then the effect of that will certainly be imposed within the growth development of the species. And that's why it will change the productivity also. Am I satisfied, sir?
Another question.
Bhumi Bhattacharya, which are heavy metals indicating species? Please give some example.
I think indicators which are actually heavy metal depositing.
Which are heavy metals? Research shows that there are so many heavy metals are there within the aquatic system. It is introduced within the aquatic system due to the growth and development of agriculture. Growth and development of agriculture or the green revolution. Green revolution is very much important for our country, Thai country. After independence, Indian population and now the Indian population are different. So growing population needed more food and we needed more production from agriculture for their feeding, for the feeding of our population, Indian population, second largest population of the world. We needed more and more crops, more production. So we are bound to enhance our productivity of the agricultural system. One is in the year to 2 or 3 crops within the same year. Within the same year we have to produce 3 crops. And it causes the disease expansion of different crops, and again we needed the treatment of the disease of the crop, and produces different categories of synthetic herbicides, pesticides, insecticides, which are basically made of different application of different chemicals like heavy metals also, cadmium, silicon, even arsenic in a very little amount are incorporated within these chemicals. These are not biologically degradable substances. They are biomagnifying substances, and it can accumulate within the higher trophic level also. Within though it is applied within the agricultural field, but it is gradually introduced within the aquatic system. Without agriculture like pediculture is very much dependent upon the water bodies, water resources, and needed huge amount of water. And basically Indian agriculture was within the rainy season. Now it is within summer also, and even we can produce 3 times crop within our agricultural system, and a huge amount of water is utilized, and that particular water carries the heavy metals to the aquatic system, and even the higher trophic level due to biological magnification, cadmium or even other heavy metals are introduced within the higher trophic level of the fish species. Fish species are of secondary or tertiary carnivore consumer. Primary or secondary or tertiary consumer in the pond trophic level, and it is also affected by this type of heavy metal, and it is available within the fish place also. Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you
for your nice presentation and nice deliberation, even a good presentation on each and every aspect.
Now,
Sir, thank you for giving me a chance to present my research work as well as the present scenario of aquaculture, as I am strictly associated with the aquaculture, and I am teaching the students of the fishery sciences. So I am very much thankful to you for giving me a chance to attend such type of webinar. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. And now we have Secretary of District Organization, Sri Amalesh Chandra Jana. Dr. Jana, please come to this platform and say something about our webinar series, biodiversity. Amalesh Chandra Jana. Secretary District Organization, Amalesh Chandra Jana. Dev Jidat. Sri Jana, please say something about today's webinar. Because your organization is here. In addition to Flora and Fauna Asia Facebook group and Department of Botany, Seva Bharati Mahavidyalaya, Kapgadi, Chhalda.
I think Amalesh Jana is not here. So
Jana,
please
please
download the
unmute. Unmute and say something. Open your mic. Open your mic.
Not audible.
I think Amalesh Jana is not here. So please, Dr. Das, conclude the session.